What's up, everybody? It is Zach of the Dark Conservatarian YouTube channel here with a quick rant, although it's probably in all reality not going to be very quick because I get kind of rambly with these things about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial that is unfolding before us. Now, before I go any further, I just want to give off the disclaimer to anybody who might be watching, and especially the YouTube bots and anyone else who even has the singlest hint to want to give a strike to my YouTube channel, that I am not condoning or calling for the hate, violence, or death threats or anything of that sort to anybody who I might be talking about throughout this whole rant. Okay? Got that, YouTube bots? Got that, YouTube moderators? Got that, everyone else who might be watching this? That's not what I'm here for. But nonetheless, I do have an opinion that I want to give out about the whole Kyle Rittenhouse circumstance. And you know what? Come to think about it, even though that for the past year I have been paying attention to the Kyle Rittenhouse drama and politics around it unfold, and I've been paying attention to it and whatnot. Especially ever since the Vosh versus Destiny debate of last year. But even in spite of that, I haven't really given my take, I don't think, at all in that allotted amount of time, but here I am. And so I just got done listening to to Ranting Monkey's live stream reviewing the trial of when that Kyle Rittenhouse himself, the man, the myth, the legend himself, gone up there on the podium to testify. Now, I have paid attention to some of the other live streams, but this one in particular was 6 hours long, and honestly, to anybody who might be saying that I'm getting a little bit of a biased interpretation or whatever of this, keep in mind, throughout the entire live stream, Ranting Monkey was barely reacting. Well, he was reacting here and there, but he was letting the video play out. The live stream, live feed of the trial itself in the courthouse unfold without hardly any pauses at all. Although there was times of when the internet got all crappy on the courthouse's part, but nonetheless. So, first thing I want to say is, opening up from that day, which it was yesterday actually, I think it was, of when that, I'm pretty sure that it was yesterday. Yesterday, Kyle Rittenhouse got up there to speak, but before him, there was this guy named Jacob Marshall, who I think he was, that was the name of the guy who is a friend / roommate of Jacob Grosskreutz, or, not Jacob Grosskreutz, Gage Grosskreutz, excuse me. Jacob Marshall, friend of Gage Grosskreutz, and a former roommate. And first they got him up there so as to testify and confirm whether or not, if it was true, that Gage really did say that he regretted not killing Kyle Rittenhouse, because that was a thing that came out throughout these entire trial hearings. And so, long story short, Roger said that Gage did not say that, even though that Roger had made that Facebook post saying, my friend Gage Grosskreutz said that the only thing that he regrets is not having unloaded the entire magazine onto Kyle Rittenhouse at the moment, right before he got his bicep blown off by Kyle. But apparently, he made a Facebook post about that, but apparently he said during this hearing that he was lying. Why did he say it was that he was lying? Supposedly to give cover to Gage. Which that does not make any sense at all. That is completely nonsensical. I mean, you already had like death threats coming towards Gage's way just because he made an attempt on a self-defender's life, that being Kyle. And you really think that putting forth the testimony that this guy really did want to kill him, like giving some kind of a confirmation to these people, giving the death threats that, yeah, he really did want to kill Kyle, that ain't gonna make your friend look better. In fact, that's just gonna make people feel even more emboldened to want to give out death threats to Gage, you dipshit. I mean, either this guy is like really fucking stupid, like below room temperature IQ levels of stupid, I think he's lying. I'm calling bullshit. You know, I don't even think that he is that fucking stupid. I think what is really the case here is that he is lying right now. He wasn't lying but right then. He is lying right now about lying about that testimony that he gave forth of his own friend. He was just being unhinged and lashing out on Facebook because it was the heat of the moment right there. Kyle had just gotten done killing two Blake rioters, rather, because this riot was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, over Jacob Blake being killed. He just got done, Kyle just got done killing two Jacob Blake rioters and injured one by blasting off his bicep, and then this friend of the guy who got his bicep blown off got his emotions, let his emotions control him, and he was all like, oh fuck, I'm going to make this Facebook post right here just to let out some steam. The only thing that my friend Gage regrets is not killing this motherfucker. I think that's what is really going on here, and he was revealing what was the truth at that moment. And then fast forward a little over a year later, we get this trial, and Gage is starting to realize, as he is being, I guess, pep talked to the prosecutor attorney, as they are like looking to prosecute Kyle Rittenhouse, which I think the prosecutor attorney, lawyer, whatever, his name is Figure. Is that his name? I can't remember. The real, like, Adam Frienddead looking motherfucker that Ranting Monkey keeps on saying he looks like, or Gary Oldman, as his co-host Jack says that he looks like. Either one, but you know who I'm talking about. It's a real wormy, real weasly, skinny lawyer that is going against Kyle Rittenhouse during these trials. But Gage, I bet that he was being pep talked by the attorney, by the prosecutor lawyer, and he was all like, this isn't going to be a good image on you. You have to do something about this. And so Gage decided to tell his friend, hey, Roger, you're going to have to lie for me. You're going to have to take back that post. You're going to have to do some kind of cover-up. And this is the best that you got for a cover-up? It's not believable. I don't buy it. I mean, I don't have any concrete evidence to say that Roger is lying at this very moment, and that in all reality, Gage really did say those words that he said on Facebook, that he said that Gage said on Facebook, is that he wishes that he had killed Kyle. I don't have any concrete evidence, but I have a stinking suspicion that Gage really did say that. Both he and Roger, as far as I'm concerned, are a bunch of psychotic, lying idiots. Quite bluntly. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting worked up about that. That was the first thing that just really stuck out to me throughout this entire hearing, listening to it while at work this morning. And the next thing that stuck out was when that Kyle Rittenhouse, when he was being brought up there on the podium, and when he was being questioned by the defense attorney to recall and recollect of what were the events that exactly happened that day, he started to break down. Kyle broke down into tears when he was getting to the point of retelling the part of the story of where that he had to kill Joseph Rosenbaum. As some of you know, Joseph Rosenbaum, he was being provocatory. He was saying, I'll fucking kill you, essentially, to Kyle Rittenhouse. And later on, Joseph started chasing after and even attacked Kyle, threw a bag with some hard object in it, as he was, the next second later, jumping on Kyle, and Kyle quickly turned around and shot him in the head. And so after that, a couple of people that witnessed the whole thing decided to, go after him and attack him. Kyle, I mean. Actually, a whole mob of people decided to go after him and attack him. But the two people that got closest to attacking him was Hubert, I think was the guy's name, who whacked him over the head with a skateboard, and then the next guy being, of course, Grosskreutz, who got his bicep blown off. But anyway, that's just to anybody who might not know even roughly what the story is about. There's of course more details to this, and you'll have to like listen to the trial hearing yourself in order to get more of the details, because that would like take too long of a video for me to explain it point for point what exactly happened there. But nonetheless, when Kyle was on the podium there in the trial, and he was retelling the story there, and he was getting up to the point of where that he had to kill Joseph Rosenbaum to save his own life, he broke down crying. And right there, I felt legitimately sad for the guy. He was 17 at the time. Like, I don't pity at all Joseph Rosenbaum, or, yeah, no, I don't pity him, because the guy was a convicted pedophile, essentially. No, he was a convicted pedophile. He was convicted for some kind of pedophilic act anyways. And then in the heat of this moment here, he thought that it'd be a brilliant idea to attack somebody who was just trying to put out a fucking dumpster fire and cleaning graffiti. That was it. That was all that Kyle was doing, and apparently that was enough to provoke Joseph Rosenbaum and a whole bunch of other people. But I don't pity Joseph Rosenbaum. But at the same time, it still is not easy having to kill a life. I mean, generally speaking, from what I hear from people who like end up legitimately regretting it, is that it ain't easy to kill a life. Even if it's somebody who deserves death, like somebody could argue that Joseph did, it's still not easy ultimately. And I can only imagine that even more so for Kyle, who was 17 at the time, and even now just barely an adult. He just recently turned 18. Still not easy for him. And so I cannot fault him for starting to break down. And on top of that, not only was there the fact that he killed one person, would kill another person quickly following up after that, there's the fact in the heat of the moment that he felt endangered for his own life. Like, people say that Gross Kreutz, that he was putting forth crocodile tears over the fact that he was lost his bicep and was potentially losing court money. I mean, I don't know the exact details of what is supposed to be rewarded to Gross Kreutz and rest of the prosecutorial team if they did win the case, and of how that it was all coming down on them and it was becoming less and less likely that they would win that money or whatever. But nonetheless, people on the right are saying that he was just doing crocodile tears because over the fact that he lost a bicep and was losing this money, in order to get the jury to pity him. And honestly, I am not going to say, I'm not going to come out here swinging, being all scorched earth and saying that he flat out he is faking it, because I don't know, I probably would feel bad to the point of wanting to cry too, at one point or another, over thinking over the fact that I lost a bicep and I'm not going to be able to lift weights anymore. I couldn't really blame him on that part, but at the same time, it does not change the matter of fact that he's still a piece of shit. Gage, I mean. That he's still a lying piece of shit for trying to attack Kyle and so forth. He was still an aggressor on Kyle. I mean, you go attacking Kyle in the name of somebody who was attacking him originally in the first place. That being Joseph Rosenbaum. So, looking at it that way, I cannot pity, I can't really pity Gage at all. But at the same time, I'm not going to completely say that it's fake that he was crying over him losing his bicep. But Kyle Rittenhouse, when he broke down and cried during that trial, it looked completely legitimate when I looked at the screen for a split second there. So I do not know, and he's getting shit for this, for crying. He's getting from definitely the left, and even in some cases from the right as well. You have people on the left saying that he's completely faking it, or he's just trying to do an appeal to emotion with the jury or whatever. And I think, like, fuck you guys. Or they're saying that his tears are unjust. Like, fuck all of you who legitimately say, who say unironically that he shouldn't be crying, that his tears are completely unjustified. Like, until you know what it feels like to take a life, you have barely at all any room to speak. That's an alarm that I have to turn off right there. You have barely any room to be criticizing another person for how they react emotionally about the idea that they ended up having to take a life in order to protect themselves or protect someone else. Like, do you know what it feels like? I cannot say that I know what it feels like. I mean, I've never had to take a life before in my life, and I'm like 26 years old. But this kid was 17 years old, now 18. He's so young, and he ended up taking a couple of lives in self-defense, mind you. But still, he ended up having to take a couple of lives. That will, like, have some kind of a toll on a person. And you're going to mock him for crying over this? Fuck off. And there are some people on the right, like, are not faulting him as much for this, but they're saying that he's still not being a real man for crying or whatever. I'm not going to be as, like, harsh on the kid for breaking down. I mean, he's still pretty young, has absolutely barely any life experience, much less any life experience of getting in fights or killing people. Well, there are some people who say that he might have got into fisticuffs with people before in his younger childhood, but nonetheless, nothing as severe as this. So I think that it's still somewhat warranted. That's my response to everybody who might be criticizing him over this. But yeah, I just couldn't help but pity the guy, honestly. No 17-year-old should have to go through that, honestly. And I would plead all of my subscribers, please pray for Kyle. Pray that once this is all said and done, that the Lord comforts him and his family, that he recovers from this emotionally and so forth. And also pray that he wins this case. Like, realistically speaking, he might still get charged for gun possession, but even then, there are some things about that Ranting Monkey points out. There might be a technicality that gets him off even on that. But the gun possession part is a minor offense, and he might serve some minor prison sentencing over that, realistically. But definitely pray that he does not get convicted of murder. Pray for his sake, and also for the sake of all of our rights to self-defense. Because if he did lose this, I mean, knock on wood, I don't think that he is going to win or I don't think he is going to lose this. I think it's most likely that he will be proven innocent of murder, and that it will be seen as legitimate self-defense by the jury and everyone else who matters anyways. But if in the off chance that he does lose, or that he did lose, then this would set up a very bad precedent for all of our rights to self-defense. That would mean in the future, it would set a precedent for in the future if any of us got caught up in a violent circumstance and ended up having to defend ourselves and ended up killing somebody in the process of defending ourselves. But so I think that's all I wanted to say about that right there. But I want to get a little bit into Figure, or whatever the fuck the Gary Oldman looking fuck his name is. But nonetheless, his questioning was just so fucking loaded, and in some cases pedantic and petty and just wormy, and I really want to give big props to the judge, especially for calling them out. There's one point, opening up with this question to Kyle. He first opens up with, so you intended to kill those people that you shot at, correct? He did not ask the question in the way of, did you intend to kill anybody? No, he was coming forth with the assertion that he did intend to kill people. That Kyle did intend and desire to kill people. And but he just ended that assertion with, correct? Correct, Kyle? You wanted to kill people, correct? No. If you want to, like, come in good faith, do not line up your question like that. What the fuck legitimate reasoning does he even have at all that Kyle really did want to kill people? Like, I would say that just by looking at the tears from Kyle right there, that he really did not, in the end of things, want to kill people. Like, yeah, there's the whole free as fuck slogan, a t-shirt that the lawyer points out that he was wearing, and there's like some things about like that Kyle did beforehand that might have came off as dumb, or might make somebody like try to observe and theorize about what his motive was. Like, was he trying to protect people's property or whatever? Like, he says that ultimately, or I don't know, it's kind of a gray area. It's kind of mixed on whether or not he did fully intend to use violent force, if possible, to protect people's property. But nonetheless, in spite of all that, and I'm not going to say that Kyle is some perfect little angel, not at all, but all the same, and there is one area that the lawyer points out of where that he lied, that Kyle lied. Like, Kyle later admits during this trial hearing that he is not an EMT, even though he said during that night that he was an EMT to somebody. So he lied in that area, so Kyle is not perfect. But all the same, just by looking at the crime that he did, the breaking down, and everything else, taking everything else into account, I fully believe that he legitimately did not want to kill anybody. So what was it that the lawyer got that made him think that, yes, Kyle wanted to kill people? It doesn't make sense. And it just came off as real slimy and dickish. Douchebaggy. Like, there's so many negative connotations that you can put to that line of questioning. Like, it just made me shout out loud, "You fucking asshole," as I was listening to it. And then the next few questions, he just kept on insisting on the question of, you were intending to kill them. You were intending to kill them. Like, he reworded his question, but his question was still the same for the next three or four questions that he asked after his opening question there. But you were intending to kill them. But you were intending to kill them. As Kyle was just answering these questions away, trying to say that his primary intent was not to kill him. His primary intent was just to ward people off of him and trying to grab his gun. His primary intent was not to kill people. That's what Kyle was trying to explain there to the lawyer. But the lawyer was still all like, but you were trying to kill them. Fuck off, you Gary Oldman looking fuckstick. It just was really infuriating. And then shortly after that, he ended up asking Kyle, or questioning about the fact that he like kept on pleading the fifth, I guess, or that he was withholding and applying his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, so that he did not self-incriminate. And I tell you, that really pissed the judge off. You should hear the trial hearing for yourself. Hear the judge call out the lawyer for his line of questioning there. Like, one person can observe about what is the motive for somebody like pleading the fifth so much, insisting on it. I mean, I think there was some people on the right that ended up questioning, why is it that Hillary Clinton kept on pleading the fifth when it came to a hearing done over her. But let me tell you what the difference is. In this case, with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, the lawyer was trying to make this out as reasoning to convict, or as something material to invalidate Kyle's case, that this is like a legitimate case of self-defense. And in the middle of all that questioning, he was also trying to make it out like Kyle wasn't there. or that he was forgetful or ignorant of everything that happened that night, and the only reason that he would know anything was based off of the testimony that other people had brought forth beforehand, like the police officer, the gun expert, and Gage Grosskreutz, and everyone else that they had testify on that court, that Kyle was only going off of their words and videos and articles that he had researched himself over the internet, acting like he wasn't there himself and had his own experience, and was just basing his own verbal testimony at that moment, was trying to make it out like his verbal testimony was only based off of that, other people's testimonies and things that he had researched. It's just freaking stupid. Like, if he did not have a testimony, a raw, personal, first-person testimony to bring forth himself, it was just freaking stupid. Of course, there was the video game questioning, and you thought it looked cool questioning. That was kind of dumb as well, and yada yada. What was starting to get me, like, going towards the end of the trial was that he was trying to make it out like it was a bad thing, like it was some big deal that Kyle was trying to go out of his way to put out dumpster fires. I'm going to have to, like, end this video here pretty soon and go inside here, but nonetheless, the lawyer was trying to make it out like it was a big deal, like it was a bad thing that he was trying to put out dumpster fires. Like, because he was trying to put out dumpster fires, therefore he was provoking the rioters, therefore he might have possibly got what he deserved. I mean, this is, you know what? Talk about victim blaming. That just popped up in my head right now. The lawyer was fucking victim blaming. Was victim blaming Kyle. That's because that he was trying to go out of his way to do something that was inherently good, by the way. Inherently putting out a garbage fire, as that fire can, like, spread out throughout the rest of areas of the city and damage other property as well. Like, putting out a dumpster fire inherently is a good thing. Is a fairly good thing to do. And yet he was trying to make that out, trying to use that as a sign of malicious intent on Kyle's part. And because that he was trying to do that thing, that inherently good thing, putting out forest fires, or, dumpster fires, that therefore he had it coming. He had those people that attacked him later, he had it coming. Fuck this lawyer. Really pissed me off. And he was also trying to make it a big deal of how that Kyle was, like, keeping his AR-15 on his person. Like, he went from one area to another. Like, he had met up with some of his buddies, and from there he would later on go to another area where that people were needing medical attention or something other. And because he did not leave his AR-15 with his buddies, Kyle, I mean, but instead kept it with him as he was going off to apply first aid to other people, that therefore there was some malicious intent, that he was keeping himself armed. Good fucking thing that this lawyer is not a lawmaker. Otherwise, we would probably have our gun rights, like, heavily restricted even more. Like, why would you be carrying your gun outside of your home? And man, I just gotta say, this guy had one of the most arrogant voices of all time. Like, he was trying to force this calmness in his voice, and it just came off as very smug and arrogant. It's like if he had some inner feelings that he was trying so desperately to hide. And oh man, it was just aggravating. I cannot believe that somebody would, like, actually be able to pull off talking like that. It just came off as not human. Is this lawyer even freaking human? he was acting in a way that came off like that, where he wasn't human. But what was I trying to make out of this point? But yeah, he was making it out like because he was keeping his gun on him, that therefore there was malicious intent. Like, he was in the middle of a riot. There was at least some chance, even though that Kyle was saying during that trial hearing, answering the lawyer's questions of, hey, I did not think that I was inherently in danger, that people were, like, inherently coming after me, but at the same time, I still kept the gun on me for just in case there was that slight possibility that I would end up getting attacked. And guess what? He did end up getting attacked. And thank God he kept that AR-15 on him. Fuck you, Mr. Figger. Or Feger, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm gonna have to search up his name again. I kept on hearing it a little bit earlier today, but I cannot remember it for the life of me right now. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Again, pray for Kyle that he ends up being proven innocent, confirmed innocent, for his sake and for all of our sakes as well. I am Zach of the Dark Conservatarian YouTube channel, and see y'all later. Take care, and check out the trial hearings yourself, by the way. Don't just go off of my opinion. Check them out yourself. It's really above ordinary, above the average as far as worth the listening when it comes to court hearings. Anyway, adios.